Stalker? I barely knew her. Ah! Seriously, this game sucks. Don't waste your time. The first Stalker, garbage. Outdated since the moment it dropped. Actually, outdated prior to its release. The game came out in 2007, and it felt like a game from 97. The graphics were abysmal. The setting let me tell you what Stalker is, right? Stalker fanboys, you might want to plug your ears for this one. Stalker is a wannabe Metro. But Metal, no, it's not. Metro came out so many years later, and it was 10 times better. Stalker is like the bargain brand Fallout, all right? Oh, but Metal Fallout has such a rich history, and it's got multiple games before the first Stalker even came out, and Stalker has a better mod scene. The problem is everything good about Stalker you can get somewhere else. First of all, the fact that this Stalker 2 game took, 15 years? 15 years before the sequel came out. There are people who retired and played the original Stalker, and they saw the ending, and they're like, I can't wait for the next installment. And then they fucking died before the next installment came out. Yeah, it might have had some expansions, but those were just Control-C, Control-V, low-effort port jobs. That's all there ever be. Stalker is an abysmal shooter. If you want superior shooting, you play Metro. It's an abysmal RPG. If you want a better RPG, you play Fallout. There's nothing Stalker brings to the table that other better made games don't do 10 times superior to the mechanics present in this janky Russian POS game. Speaking of Russian, I think that they left this part out, but there should be mandatory drinking. You need to absolutely down an entire bottle of vodka to get through this. The story is incoherent. You got a bunch of Russian motherfuckers running around with guns. I guess that's realistic, but I mean, remember, no Russian. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea, man? No one was asking for Stalker 2. All the fans of the original have moved on to Escape from Tarkov, all right? And that game has had its own issues. It's flopped, and the developers came out and screwed over everybody who bought the game. And what's the big deal here? Heart of Chernobyl? I don't need to see the heart of Chernobyl. My radiation was spiked just from holding the game in my hands. There's nothing redeeming about Stalker. There's nothing memorable about Stalker. It's a single A game that if you did play it back in the day, you've forgotten about. All right? Now, I do understand that this game has a core audience, a titular audience, because the people who play Stalker are low-life virgins who have never spoken to a woman. So hey, if you're a real-life stalker trying to get with women who are 10 times out of your league, maybe you'll like Stalker. If you like low-effort games where they have abysmal gameplay, janky presentation, an incoherent story, and they lack any type of captivating hook, you're gonna love Stalker. It is the poster child for the forgetful game. All right, we all played games like this. There were games like this since the dawn of time. Pong was a game like this. You're right, people hyped it up, but going back, was it really that good? No, you're hitting a fucking ball back and forth. Just like Stalker, was it really that good? No, and people point to the mod scene. Oh, but you've got to play the mods. The Stalker mods are so good. They changed the game. I'm sorry, am I the only intelligent one around here? Am I the only one not taking crazy pills? If you have to mod a game to the point where it's unrecognizable and it literally feels like a different game, maybe the base game wasn't that good to begin with. Maybe the thing that you're modding literally is inferior to the modded version. All right, at that point, all these hobby modists, these creators who are doing this for free, you should have just built a brand new game from the ground up, because the original game certainly doesn't look like your modded version. Your modded version is superior. You could have built it from the ground up and just sold it on Steam, and now you'd be rich. But you weren't thinking 10 steps ahead. You weren't actually strategizing, and that's why you stay in your parents' basement modding games on your computer. You're not playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. You're playing Go Fish while the rest of us are playing checkers, okay? This is why successful people such as myself will not touch S.T.A.L.K.E.R with a 10-foot pole. This is why successful people such as myself laugh at the suggestion of these chronically online neckbeards that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is going to somehow revolutionize the gaming industry, that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is going to somehow revolutionize the FPS genre. The fact that S.T.A.L.K.E.R is even in the same sentence as something like Call of Duty is laughable. One of them is a hard-hitting, realistic, gritty FPS that challenges you on every front. You have to make split-moment decisions, and it's so realistic. You feel your heart pounding as you go through the corridors and as you explore the terrain. And the other S.T.A.L.K.E.R, a low-budget, janky Russian FPS that nobody remembers, is very, very inferior to the online rhetoric, and quite frankly never deserved a sequel to begin with. But hey, if you clowns want to go out and spend your hard-earned bucks on a piece of trash, might I recommend that you actually do it to an American-made product, all right? Just saying. I didn't forget the Soviet War. I didn't forget the Cold War. Maybe you shouldn't either.